Halo 2 can go by many names, either the sequel, the expansion of everything as we know it, or my personal favorite, the 80s action movie. It's not the most important thing in this game, but some of the actions, and especially, and I cannot stress enough, the dialogue feels like it was ripped straight out of Terminator.
If they came to hear me beg, they will be disappointed. Are you sure?
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Permission granted.
What if you miss?
I won't.
Then you've got things like Chief riding this bomb inside a Covenant ship.
Rick, you do pretty good.
A Baywatch-style run from a plasma beam. And a blatantly disrespectful and nonchalant entrance.
Boo.
But the biggest thing they did was redeem the elites, or at least they started to. They're still the bad guys for a decent chunk of the game, but eventually the Arbiter learns about the issues of the Covenant, and it feels like the rest of the elites just kind of play along, which makes sense because he's effectively like the president of the elites. Not that any of them were really happy with the Covenant after the whole schism and betrayal thing.
Are you questioning my decision?
No, Holy One. I only wish to express my concern that the brutes...
Recommissioning the Guard was a radical step. But recent events have made it abundantly clear that the elites can no longer guarantee our safety.
I shall relay your decision to the Council.
Politics, how tiresome. Do you know, Arbiter, the elites have threatened to resign, to quit the High Council, because of this exchange of hats?
But I personally and weirdly think that the story of the elites is the heart of Halo. Even though the whole premise is humanity versus aliens, and that should be enough. I'm a human, I'm sure you are too. It's hard to think of anything that would pull us closer together as a species, to set all of our differences aside and focus on figuring it out than dealing with aliens. But nothing is cooler to me than this.
Communicating with what?
The other installations.
Show me.
Fail-safe protocol. In the event of unexpected shutdown, the entire system will move to standby status. All remaining platforms are now ready for remote activation.
Remote activation? From here?
Don't be ridiculous.
Listen, Tinkerbell, don't make me...
Then where? Where would someone go to activate the other rings?
Why the Ark? Of course.
And where, Oracle, is that?
Watching the elite cut their ties, or I suppose get their ties cut with the Covenant, but then still go on to actively side with humanity is just too good. We also get introduced to this guy,
Disloyal beasts.
who's effectively to Arbiter what Johnson is to Chief.
We shall cut into the heart of this infestation, retrieve the icon, and burn any flood that stand in our way. The parasite is not to be trifled with. I hope you know what you're doing.
This guy is a genius move. The Arbiter's sick, right? But the same way that Chief is sick. You are Chief. Like, of course he's dope, but you are Chief. When Johnson shows up, you get a little bit excited.
Thanks for the tank. He never gets me anything.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
On the blood of our fathers, on the blood of our sons, we swore to uphold the Covenant, even to our dying breath.
But we don't only get introduced to Arbiter and Mr. Artas Vadum. We also get the Brutes, Prophets, and the Gravemind.
I am a monument to all your sins.
And Miranda and the drones, but there's not much happening there. So Tartarus is interesting. He's the antagonist to our antagonist. But the enemy of our enemy is not our friend. We have a hate triangle going every way it can, and needless to say, if we didn't have the Arbiter there as our eyes and ears, we, 1, wouldn't care what Tartarus is doing, because it's the same thing they've always been doing, and 2, we wouldn't get the personal feeling of betrayal. And it's hard to think after all this time, but even after we were the bad guys, we were the Covenant, after we just watched Miranda and Johnson get captured, this still felt like a betrayal.
you doing?
Sergeant, stay down! Johnson, you all right? Johnson!
Excellent work, Arbiter. The hierarchs will be pleased.
Icon is my responsibility.
Was your responsibility. Now it is mine. A bloody fate awaits you and the rest of your incompetent race. And I, Tartarus, chieftain of the brutes, will send you to it.
And the prophets learn of this, that they will take your head.
When they learn. Fool. They ordered me to do it.
And afterward, we have a new target in our eyes. He was probably there the whole time, but that's just what I like to call good foreshadowing.
He's the Oracle.
So it is.
Then you've got the prophets. No longer are the Covenant just the enigmatic, angry aliens fighting humans because they feel like it. It's a religious thing to them. Where did they get it? We don't know. Do they know the real effect of these sacred rings? We don't know. What we do know is that all the species of the Covenant are being manipulated by the few at the top. Regret, who we get personally, which results in him kind of being present during the three-way conversation.
Stay where you are. Nothing can be done until my sermon is complete.
Not true.
Mercy, who was technically taken out by the flood, but also because Truth, the head honcho, told Tartarus to leave him.
Let him be. The great journey waits for no one, brother. Not even you.
I mean, like, look at this guy. If those aren't some of the craziest eyes you've ever seen, like, come on. So we actually show up, like, directly after that while Mercy's still writhing around on the floor. And not that we would want to help him, or that we really could, but we definitely do more than his friends did.
Your pal. Where's he going?
To finish what I started. And this time, none of you will be left behind.
So real quick, let's just talk about how the infection forms work. They cling on to the spinal cord to take over the nervous system of whatever being they're in. So that's right, he rips out this prophet's spinal column, just yanks that out of there, which is still probably a better fate than turning into the flood, but like, damn. And in one game, we get introduced to the three leaders and watch as one becomes the singular biggest, most manipulative and dangerous with nobody else to check him. Then we've got the big man himself, the Gravemind.
What is that?
At the surface level, this guy's just a big, weird, Lovecraftian flood tentacle creature thing, but it's actually so much more than that. In fact, this is what the Flood from Combat Evolved were striving to create, and he's the evolved form of what Keyes was becoming.
No human life signs detected. The captain, he's one of them.
Not only is it physically imposing,
Relax. I'd rather not piss this thing off.
Demon.
it also gifts the rest of the Flood present with certain knowledge, like how to drive or fly
Slip
ships.
space rupture. It's in amber clad. Hailing. No response. She's crashed into another tower ahead of our position. I'll keep trying to make contact, but I'm not registering any human vital signs.
Split them up. One in each phantom.
The hopes of all the Covenant rest on your shoulders, Chieftain.
My faith is strong. I will not fail.
We could tell he's too intelligent to be comfortable with because he starts speaking poetically and in metaphors.
This one is machine and nerve, and has its mind concluded. This one is but flesh and faith, and is the more deluded.
He's also smart enough to use Chief and Arbiter to stop the ring from blowing up. Even though that's a common goal, he's still smart enough to track us down, throw us in a room together, and then teleport us around the ring to do what he wants.
Your prophets have promised you freedom from a doomed existence, but you will find no salvation on this ring. Those who built this place knew what they wrought. Do not mistake their intent, or all will perish as they did before.
This thing is right. Halo is a weapon. Your prophets are making a big mistake.
Your ignorance already destroyed one of the sacred rings, demon. It shall not harm another.
If you will not hear the truth, then I will show it to you. There is still time to stop the key from turning, but first it must be found. You will search one likely spot, and you will search another. Fate had us meet as foes, but this ring will make us brothers.
Meanwhile, Chief does what he does alongside Cortana, two characters who we've already had a connection with previously, so meeting all these new guys now just makes them even more familiar to us than they were previously. Some time has passed since combat evolved, and seeing them again was almost comforting in a way. And things were going normal up until that last cutscene where we get teleported to High Charity, and they do something that none of us ever thought would happen. He leaves her there.
That structure in the center of the city, it's a Forerunner ship. And Truth is heading straight for it. If he leads the Covenant fleet to Earth, they won't stand a chance. You have to stop him.
That brute has the Index. And Miranda and Johnson. He can activate the ring.
If he does, I'll detonate in Emberclad's reactor just like we did the Autumns. The blast will destroy this city and the ring. Not a very original plan, but we know it'll work. No, I don't want to chance a remote detonation. We need to stay here. Chief, when you get to Earth, good luck.
After I'm through with Truth.
Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
And that's not just like leaving her on the counter. He's leaving her in the mothership of the Covenant that is currently being infested by the Flood. Humanity's two worst enemies in one spot, and she's just chilling there alone. Needless to say, she's not safe, because the Puppet Master Gravemind knows she's there, and it was never an alliance, it was convenience. The ring activating ruins everybody's plans, and that got stopped, so now it's just a free-for-all. He's gonna take advantage of Cortana being there.
Silence fills the empty grave now that I have gone. But my mind is not at rest, for questions linger on. I will ask, and you will answer.
All right. Shoot.